And we're back. So today we are going to discuss manipulation of the pen tool while using it. Now, if you took our beginners course or the previous course, we discussed all the basic attributes of the pen tool. Now, what's going to be discussed this time are more advanced techniques while using the pen tool on actual work. So we're going to start this off and we're going to, just create another V shape on the artboard, and we're going to increase the weight so that way we can visualize what we're doing. Okay, so whenever you're creating with the pen tool, you're always going to click an initial point, and then you can click your next point to make, whether it's an angle or a curved shape, and you're going to start somewhere by clicking and pulling, or clicking and then just simply clicking another point. Now, some people may start by clicking and pulling because that is actually going to allow you to start at a curve for wherever your next point is going to be. So if you click and you pull, and even if it's just a single point, it will actually curve to that point, depending upon how much you've actually pulled the handle out from your initial anchor point. Okay? So we can either click and go straight to another point, we can click and pull to get to a curved point, or we can curve and click to a straight point, or we can curve and curve to another point. But you can start several different ways. Just depends on what type of art it is that you're doing and or where your starting point is in the artwork. You may be starting from a sharp corner, so you would start with a point. You may be starting from a curved area, so you would start with a curve. And it may go into another point or a curve and so on and so forth. So when you're manipulating these, we previously spoke about having a line and then having to actually change the anchor point, and maybe to change it from a curve to a straight anchor point. And that's how we use our convert anchor point tool, which is Shift and C on your keyboard. If we were to click that, it changes it to an actual angled point as opposed to a curved point. But let's go back. Now let's say while we're doing this, we create a line and we go here and we're creating this, but let's say we don't want this to curve like this. Let's say we want from this point that we have here, hold on, let me mark this out in magenta for you. Let's say we have the point we have here, and we want it to actually angle up in this direction. Well, how do we do that when we're creating this line? The first thing you might think is, okay, we use our convert anchor point tool, and we would convert that point that's within here. So let's highlight this stroke. If we were to convert that point, unfortunately, it breaks this into a straight angle. Now you might say, well, we can always take this handle from the right hand side and we could actually drag that up. But the problem with that is now we still have this end anchor point. So how do we make this go upward in this direction without having the anchor point or without creating this direct angle? So what we do is we're going to go back. We're going to show you. So let's say we start here. Now while you're here and you're pulling this point out, like you've clicked and you pulled this point out, you're going to hold down the Alt button on your keyboard, and that's going to allow you to manipulate the handle in real time without breaking out and selecting another tool. So you can click one point, click the curve, and then you can hit the Alt button and you can change the direction of the corresponding handle. So if we wanted it to go up in that angle, we let it go when we have it in that angle, release the Alt button, and we just click. Now the benefit, and what it actually is doing at that point, is it's changing on the fly to our convert anchor point tool. So we don't have to actually select that tool. Now if you look down in the bottom of your window, it'll tell you what your tool selection is. Convert anchor point tool. If you let go of your Alt key or Option key on the Mac, it will change back to the pen tool. And you'll see that's what it's doing. So if we continue this, we can continue to alter these and manipulate the direction in which the next flowing line is going to go, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's go back. Now, that's one way of manipulating while you're doing this. Now, a lot of people, if they have art on the board, let's say we have this point or this line that's listed right here. And we want to go and we want to click, like let's say we're drawing something that has to go to this line. But let's say we overshoot it. And you're like, oh, you know, I overshot the line. Now I have to redo the entire thing. Wrong. You don't. When you click and you overshoot something or you go too far past, hold down your space key. And that allows you to keep your handles, but to move your line at the same time. So if it was here, and you let go, now you're at that point, as opposed to where you're initially overshot. But you have to do it before you let go of where you click. Okay? So don't click and then expect to do it with the space key, because that's not going to work. You have to click and hold it, and then hit the space key in order to move it. So if we were here, and we messed up and we overshot the line that we have here, trying again, if we did the same thing, we could then move this back and simply adjust from that point. And now we have the line touching where we initially wanted it to go. Now another manipulation point or key point is the shift key. And anybody who knows, using the shift key pretty much keeps everything in a straight line and makes sure that it goes at a sharp angle or keeps it level where the point already is, so that it's not misaligned. So we're going to click one point, and let's click another point and drag it out. Now, right now, if you look closely at the actual handles, you'll notice that sometimes they appear jagged, and that's because it's not exactly straight. And you can try to get them straight, and sometimes you'll be successful, but a lot of the times you won't. And it's time consuming trying to eye this and make sure it's straight. So what you want to do is you're going to click, you're going to click your other point, and you're going to hold the shift key. And you see, even if I'm holding it here, when you hold the shift key, it automatically snaps to the closest angle of 45 degrees. So it's either 0, 45, 90, all the way around to 360 or back to 0. 180, 270. All right. So you hold the shift key down anytime you want to make sure that you're composing straight handles from your anchor point to give you a straight leveled line for wherever your line is going to go to next. All right. Now, if you really want to get complicated, you can actually use all three at the same time. So let's say we created this, say this. We have our line here, and we want to connect there, but we overshoot it. We can use the space bar to go back. We can hit our Alt key, which will then allow us to straighten it, and then we could hit our Shift key if we wanted to go directly straight up off of that line. And that is how you use advanced manipulation of anchor points with the pen tool in Adobe Illustrator. It's very simple. And in our next section, we'll be moving on to tracing images in Adobe Illustrator using the pen tool, just to give you an idea of how you can achieve certain things using the pen tool and its accuracy.